So I was originally going to record a new unfocused video for this week, but then I changed my mind and decided to do this instead. Considering the Marvel Multiverse RPG core book came out, a couple weeks ago, I've been reading through it and being like super inspired and excited and I can't wait to play it and oh my gosh, I can't wait to play it and seeing stuff in the book that I know my friend is going to be super excited about, that we're going to hopefully start a new campaign. So then I decided to do this video instead. So this will be like a campaign prelude video, campaign setup video. Sure, we'll go with that. Ooh, welcome to the Fictional Focus. I'm Nick, and this is going to be the first video in hopefully a multi-part series of campaign videos of our new Marvel Multiverse RPG campaign. This will be the kind of session 0 video, pre-campaign video. We haven't actually started yet, but we've basically created his character. So I'm reading through Marvel Multiverse, and there's a lot of great stuff. They added a lot of powers, a lot of really cool stuff. And my friend loves werewolves, so I'm looking through the origins, and there's werewolves. It's like mythic werewolves, I think it's called. I don't remember, but it's werewolves, and I'll put it up here actually. Werewolves, and it's a good chunk. It's like one of the biggest chunks in the origin. It's for werewolves, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. He loves werewolves. He would love to be a werewolf, and they have actually a bunch of stuff for being a werewolf. And I turn to the next page, and then there's this awesome art of a werewolf. It's like they knew he was gonna want to play it. So I send that to him, and I'm like, werewolf, and he's like, awesome, I definitely want to do that. And I'm like, cool. And he's like, but I still want to be a Hulk. And I'm like, okay, I guess you'll be a hulked out werewolf. And he's like, I also want to have Ghost Rider powers. I'm like, what? What? And he's like, well, I want to be a werewolf, Hulk, Ghost Rider. And I'm like, I guess technically you can basically do that. Because there's a trait that's Extraordinary Origin, which allows you to get another origin. So he picks a werewolf, picks Gamma Mutate as the extra origin, and then it doesn't say that you can pick it multiple times, because there are certain ones that say you can pick it multiple times. But I'm just like, whatever, you can pick it multiple times. So then you pick it again, and pick Spirit of Vengeance. So he's a hulked out werewolf Ghost Rider. I'm like, okay, well then now you need to decide what your ride is. Do you ride a motorcycle? Do you ride a car? Do you ride a forklift? Do you ride an animal of some kind? And he's like, oh, okay. And he had somebody draw something up of his character, and they put him on a Sharktopus. And I'm like, okay, Sharktopus. I mean, that might not be what he picks, but I'm like, after thinking about it, I'm like, man, that could actually be really cool, because you could have Sharktopus power. He'd have Sharktopus abilities. He'd have like a bite move, and he'd have a tentacle move. And then I'm like, oh, and then he could be invisible. There's some octopuses that can camouflage, so I give him invisibility. How cool would that be? Going to the battle, and then just out of nowhere, boop, giant Sharktopus is just like, I mean, I don't think sharks can really roar, and octopuses can't really roar. So it'd just be like, show up silently, and then just tentacles, and they're covered in hell flame, and I'm like, okay, that sounds cool to me. So that's basically his character. And since he's those three things, he's a werewolf, hulked out, gamma powered, whatever, Ghost Rider. I'm like, okay, you're gonna be rank 6. We're just gonna start rank 6. Who cares? You're those three things combined. You got to be at least rank 6. There's no way you're not gonna be at that rank 6. So he's gonna be rank 6. How you make a separate character sheet for his Sharktopus, or he was talking about a T-Rex or something for his animal, and he's gonna be a couple ranks lower, and he's only going to have a couple attacks and a couple traits, and it's just like a side character that he can use in combat to help him out. Since he has the animal, and I'm like, it's an animal, it should be able to do things. So that's basically his character. We're essentially finished with his character. I'll put his character sheet up somewhere. He's rank 6, and he basically put all of his skill points into melee, resilience, and ego for all of his Hellfire stuff. And he's like super strong, and like, oh, so we'll see how it goes. I'm like, hey man, that sounds pretty cool. So with that in mind, I'm like, well, he's a combination of a bunch of different things. I'm like, that'd be cool if he fought against a team of villains or whatever who are all a bunch of combinations of things. Kind of, I guess it's kind of like inspired, I guess you could say, by the Multiverse of Evil in the recent Avengers run. Sort of, I guess. because Doctor Doom is going to be the main bad guy, and it's Doctor Doom from the End of Time. But a picture of him too, because that guy is crazy. He's got like almost all the primordial powers. He's insane. It's from the Jason Aaron Thor run, I want to say. Yeah, because it was like Thor at the End of Time, and he was with Wolverine, who had the Phoenix Force, and the two of them together fought him and stuff. Like, it was crazy. So basically, and I want all of my Marvel Multiverse RPG campaigns to exist in the same world, like Earth, whatever, come up with a random number. The same Earth. So that way, then eventually, like, things can connect or whatever. Which is obviously not the normal Marvel universe. It'd be my own Earth, essentially. So I'm like, but this is like, to do something like this, I'm like, but I don't want to be contained in my the first campaign. I don't want it to affect that really. So I'm like, this is going to take place 100 years in the future. And on that Earth, most of the heroes are either dead or missing or gone or whatever. He's one of the few heroes left on the planet. And then this random group of villains show up who are all combinations of stuff. I already have basically an idea of the entire team, the evil team, and try to conquer like all of the universe. And he's basically one of the only people left who can do anything about it, at least on Earth. Because that's the thing. He's going to be going, spoiler alert. I don't know if he's going to be watching this, but spoiler alert, he's going to start on Earth, and he's going to be doing stuff on Earth. And then he'll be going out to space to find allies and artifacts and weapons and stuff in order to help him get strong enough to fight End of Time Doom. So I'm really looking forward to it. I thought everything just sounded awesome. Sound great. I can't wait to play. I hope maybe this weekend. I don't know. I'm hoping this weekend, but it might not be this weekend. I'm hoping soon that we're going to play and we can actually play multiple. We can play more than just like a couple times. And then there'll be more videos. Woo! More campaign overview videos. For the future. But yeah, I basically have the entire team thought up. And the first person he's going to fight is, I want to say his name is Ove. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name. It's Namor and Enchantress's son from the future, who was in the most current, I think it just ended actually, of Captain Marvel. I think is that Kelly Thompson? I think it was Kelly Thompson who wrote it. So he's going to be the first person that my friend fights. Is Ove. It's like OVE? OVA? No, I think it's like OV something. Ove. I don't know. Namor and Enchantress's son from the future. There's all Namor's powers, and he has Enchantress's magic. He was able to fight Captain Marvel and do really well. So I'm like, that'll be the first guy he fights, is this really powerful guy who's a combination of things. And then I have the whole team thought of, but that's for the future. No spoilers. Well, no more spoilers. So basically all he needs is his character's name, and if he has a code name, and a description. And then basically his character is completely done. Oh, and then the animal, the dinosaur, T-Rex, Sharktopus, whatever he decides to be writing. To me, I got to make their character sheet, which is going to be super easy. I can do that like real quick. And then I'm ready. Then we're ready to go. And we can do the first session. And then I'll make a video talking about it, because it just like, I'm like so excited to play. And I'm like, yes, now that the core book is out, we have the full rules, which a lot of it hasn't really changed. Mainly just added a whole bunch of powers. Can't wait to make new characters with the powers, make new enemies with the new powers and stuff. It's gonna be cool. So that's basically it. Beginning of hopefully, potentially a new series of videos talking about Marvel Multiverse campaign. We'll see how it goes, if we actually ever even have time to play. Never know about those things. But I'm ready. I am ready. Despite what you think. So that's it. There's a new episode of the podcast this week. Start of season 2. And each episode should only be about, hopefully, 25 to 35 minutes long. Shorter episodes. And it's just going to be videos from now on. It's a lot easier to edit and stuff. And then to next week should go back to the Cradle RPG. Creating it. And then, I don't know, we'll see how things are going from there. So follow us on, I was going to say Twitter. There's no such thing as Twitter, and we don't even have X anymore. So follow us on Instagram and check out the podcast. I I can put a playlist thing up there, so it makes it easy for you. Or you can just look in the playlists, or there's a thing that says podcast. So check out the podcast. And till next time, bye.